All right, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. This is Khalid Nathan Aleem, and I'm coming to you this morning with some life hacks. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 traits of a great leader in the workplace. I know a couple weeks ago, or last week, or earlier this week, we talked about bad traits. All right, but now we're going to flip the script. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 traits of a great leader in the workplace. Okay, now when we think about leadership, sometimes we think about epic moments, okay? Things that we learned in the history books. We think about George Washington crossing the Delaware. We think about Martin Luther King speaking on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, okay? But what about great leadership in a less epic way, okay? What about something like work, okay? Or if you're leading a team of some sort, all right? What about being a great leader there? That's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about 6 traits of great leaders in the workplace. And the thing about it is, you can take these great traits and convert them into home, being a great leader in your home. Because a lot of us will go to work to our 9 to 5 and think, well, I'm an employee, but you're a leader. You're probably a leader in some shape or form in your life, whether that's in the workplace, you're a manager, or maybe you're the boss. Okay. But also at home, if you have kids, you're definitely a leader. So you can use these traits also. All right. So let's get into it. Number one is communication. All right. A great leader at work or at home is a good communicator and clearly spells out expectations. Not only that, they foster good communication between their team. A good leader goes above and beyond, leveraging chats, emails, and text groups to bring their team together on workplace issues. They don't just offer tools for networking, they help develop a sense of how to communicate effectively. All right. So, number one is communication. If you're leading somebody, the goal has to be clear. The goal has to be clear. Where are we going? Oh, leader. So therefore, you have to be a good communicator, and communication is in several facets. Okay, you have the communication of speech, you have the communication of emails, of chats, of texting. But it's also, as a leader, you have to show the people who are following you how to actually use these tools. For example, email is a great way to communicate, but you have to teach them, when you're communicating through email, your tone isn't being conveyed. The tone of what you're trying to say isn't being conveyed. So you should structure your paragraphs, or structure the things that you say in a way that it can't be misinterpreted because of somebody's tone. So communication is key in being a good leader, because again, people, if you're leading, you're going somewhere. It has to be clearly communicated where you're going. Okay. And you have to foster this for the people who are following you. All right. So that's number one. Number one is communication. Number two is empathy. All right. A good leader in a workplace cares about their employees and shows it, remembering the details of their lives and asking follow-up questions that are not invasive, in a non-invasive way, about their spouses, about their children, about their parents, about life events, that shows that they care about their employees and view them more than just human chattel. All right. So you got to show empathy. You got to show that you care. And yeah, you're probably not going to be buying them a basket of flowers every day, but ask them different things that they find important. Find out what's important to your employees, or the people that you're following, or even your children. Find out what's important to them, and then show interest. Show interest in these things. You may not care about them. You may not give one darn red cent about what they're talking about, but you got to show that you care. And a way that you show that you care is by asking questions and showing interest and paying attention. knowing what their spouses' names are, knowing what their children's names are, knowing what their parents' names are, and just life events that have happened in their life. You really need to show empathy. Okay. So, again, 6 traits of a great leader. Number 1 is communication. Number 2 is empathy. All right. Number 3, and this is a big one right here. This is a big one. Number 3 is approachability. All right. A good leader is someone who people are not afraid to approach with a question or concern. Sometimes the office door needs to be closed. All right. But when it doesn't, leave it open. And maybe even with a bowl of candy or a cup of coffee for visiting employees. All right. They shouldn't dread your office like they used to do the principal's office. They should know that it's a safe haven that they can turn to for help. So as a leader, you got to be approachable. And that's really hard for people, a lot of people in Philadelphia, okay? Because a lot of times we walk around with that unapproachable feel. All right. And it's not that we're not unapproachable, but growing up in Philadelphia, that does some things to you. But that's a whole nother Dr. Phil episode. All right. As a leader, as a boss, you have to be approachable. People have to be able to approach you and feel safe with telling you stuff. All right. You have to be approachable. You can't be this hard. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear anything. I just want you to do your job. No, you're dealing with human beings. They're not robots. They're not chattel. Okay. So you have to be approachable. All right. So just to recap, number 1, communication. You have to foster clear communication with the people that you are leading. Number 2 is empathy. You have to show that you care. You have to show that you care for these people. And number 3 is approachability. You got to be approachable. Okay. People cannot be afraid to come to you with issues, even if it's a dumb question. Even if it's a dumb question, you have to act in a way to where you don't make them feel like it's a dumb question. And I know this from experience. When you do that to people, when you make them feel that what they're saying is dumb, it's almost like, as they say, you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Because they may have a brilliant idea, but they never bring the brilliant idea up. Why? Because they're scared. Because they're scared. They're fearful what you're going to say. So they say, okay, hey, I'm going to back out this. I'm not going to tell them. Why waste my time? He's not going to listen to me anyway. All right. So you have to be approachable. All right. Number 4 is generosity. All right. It says everybody loves a boss who does nice things for the team, whether it's renting a food cart for lunch or taking everybody to the movies. Bosses and managers who use reward to motivate their team rather than threats and punishments will find they have much more effective workforce under their employ. All right. So you got to be generous, and people have to feel that you're generous. So you want to motivate people with what? With rewards. Because what's our default? Our default when we get into the manager position or we get into the boss position, and I'll be totally frank, a lot of people treat their employees like they treat their kids. So, oh, you did something bad, now I'm going to punish you. And that's what they do. And that really doesn't motivate. It doesn't motivate. What that makes is for people in the workplace, what it makes for people to do is they do the least so they don't get punished. Okay, they do the least so they don't get punished. And that's what happens a lot of times. No, lead with generosity. What are the rewards? What are the things that you're going to get for performing good? Put the focus on that. As a leader, put the focus on that. Put the focus on what you'll do if you do a good job. Let them know what they'll do, or what will happen if they do a bad job, but focus, okay? Focus on what they'll get if they do a good job. All right. So again, lead with generosity. So again, we're talking about the 6 traits of great leaders. And I want to stop here for 1 second. What I need you to do is I need you to like this wherever you catching this at. whether you're catching this on Facebook, um, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube or whether it's TikTok, wherever you're catching this at, please like. All right. Now I need you to share it. Okay. Share it to at least 5 people right now. 5 people. Matter of fact, it's 6 traits of a great leader. I need you to send this out to 6 people. Because don't we need more great leaders? Don't we need more great leaders in the world? So send this out to 6 people, and God willing, they'll look at this and they'll become great leaders. All right. So we talked about communication. We talked about empathy. We talked about being approachable. We talked about generosity. And number 5 is compassion, or I'm sorry, not compassion, passion. All right. As the captain of the team, you'll find that leading by example is the best way to go. If you're plugged into the mission of your company or care about what your company does, that enthusiasm will be contagious and spread to your workers. Read up regularly on your field, network at events, and attend conferences to be a cutting edge player in your line of work. So people got to see your passion. People got to see your passion. What they say, I've heard before, is that when one person is talking to another, the one who has the most compassion wins, okay? Or believes most of what they're saying wins. What's the compassion for your job? What's the compassion for the work that you do? Because if you don't show compassion for it, if you don't show enthusiasm for what you do, how are you going to expect people who follow you to show enthusiasm or passion? How does that work? The question or the answer is it doesn't. They are going, most of the time, they're not going to be as passionate as you are. A lot of times, that's going to happen a lot of times, but they need to be somewhere close. And best believe if you don't show passion from it, they're not going to show passion for it. And that, again, this transfers to your kids too. This transfers to your kids. What are you doing with your time? Because kids see what we do, which blocks a lot of times the things that we say. So what are you showing a passion for? Because a lot of times what you show a passion for, your kids are going to show a passion for. So if you show a passion for ratchet TV, guess what your kids are going to look at? Ratchet TV. If you show a passion for self-defeating, self-hatred, gangster, trap, rap music, then what your kids going to find a passion for? Probably the same thing. So you just want to make sure that your passion is going in the right direction. But in any case, we're talking about the workforce right now. And with the workforce, okay, being a great leader in the workforce, you got to show passion for what you're doing. You got to show them that you're going above and beyond so they can go above and beyond. All right. All right. So now we come to the last trait of a great leader in a workplace: firmness. All right. Firmness. Nobody wants a tyrant as a boss. All right. Again, nobody wants a tyrant for a boss, but they also don't want to push over. All right. So they don't want a tyrant, but they also don't want to push over. Right. A great leader needs to be firm and resolute, and also know when to put their proverbial foot down, of course, in a respectful way. All right. Whether it's breaking up a water cooler party or discussing mismanaged time by an employee, clarify your principles and rules and stick to your guns. Okay. Although per our earlier points, know when to bend the rules. Okay. For different circumstances. All right. So you got to be firm. You got to be firm. You got to let the rules need to be clear. Okay, this is what I wanted to say. Sometimes my mouth travels faster than my brain. Your rules have to be clear, but the punishments have to be clear too. And this goes for your kids also. Kids, and I read this in a report somewhere, that some psychologists say that kids act out because they can't predict what's going to happen. So if they can't predict what's going to happen, then they act out because they don't know, okay, if I do this, for example, I'm going to get reprimanded. If they know for sure that if I do this, I'm going to get reprimanded, a lot of times they don't do it. But if you're sometimey, if you're not firm, if if the point, if the line isn't clear, then they act out. Okay. Employees do the same thing, and I'm not comparing employees to children. Okay. But employees, if they don't know the line or the expectation, if it's not clear what the expectation is, a lot of times they'll go over the expectation or they'll go over that line. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that everything is clear, or as clear as you can get it. As clear. Now, I know situations come up all the time, but it has to be clear. Okay, where's the line? Where's the line? And these 6 traits will make you a great leader. All right, y'all. So let's go through it one more time. Number 1 is communication. Make sure that you're communicating in an effective way. If you're not, take classes on communication. Take classes. There are different things that you can learn in communication. I'm trying to think of one right now. In communication, and I just learned this maybe like last week. Because a lot of times when I'm speaking, I'll say and well, somebody might say that's because your mouth is moving and your brain's not. So what you can do to stop that is slow down and pause. When you don't have anything to say, or you're thinking about something to say, stop talking. Close your mouth. And if you close your mouth, then you want to say, let's see, you won't do that. And the reason is because your brain would have caught up with your mouth. So what I'm trying to say is that there are different things you can learn to be a better communicator. This is what I want to say. That's number 1. Empathy, showing that you care. And again, this is practice. If you're somebody who naturally doesn't care, that sounds kind of crazy coming out your mouth, right? If you're naturally a person who doesn't care and you want to be a leader, you really need to practice showing empathy, showing people that you have concern for their situation. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3 is being approachable. As a manager, this is tough. This is tough. As a leader, this is tough. And the reason is because if you work and you're in corporate America and people are just trying to get by, they're going to come to you with a lot of BS, And you start to dismiss. You start to be dismissive. You'll be dismissive and you'll be like, and you have to watch your nonverbal language. Okay. You can't be like that. You have to be approachable. So you got to hit the what? You got to hit the reset button. You got to hit the reset button. Okay, I'm back. I'm here with this person. Jane is not Joe. So don't let me carry a situation with Jane with Joe. Okay, so you have to be approachable. Also, you got to be generous. You got to be generous. You want to lead with the rewards, not with the punishments. Again, you want to lead with the rewards. Hey, if you do this, you'll get this. If you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. And you want those to far outweigh what the punishments are. Okay? But when the punishments happen or somebody crosses the line, you got to be firm. You got to be firm. If you say something, you got to stand on it. You got to stand on it. Now, of course, there are situations that fall outside of that. Of course. But you got to be firm. You have to be firm. And again, this goes in parenting also. And then the last one, I kind of did these out of order because one connected to the other. But the last remaining trait is passion. You got to be enthused. You got to be enthusiastic about your work. If you're not, find work that you're enthusiastic about. Why would you get up? I know we got bills. But why would we sit up and every day and do something that we're not passionate about. I'm passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about helping other people. I'm passionate about people, helping people buy their homes and sell their homes. I'm passionate about that. Okay. I'm passionate about podcasting. I'm passionate about bringing my thoughts and bringing other people to the front so we can learn. So we can learn and we can make better decisions. I'm passionate about that. So you want to find what you're passionate about. Now, yeah, I'm not, if you're not passionate about your job right now, I'm not telling you to quit your job today because I know you still got bills and you still got responsibility. But on your downtime, you need to be moving towards your passion so you can combine your job or your business with your passion. That's the secret sauce right there. That is the secret sauce. What you're interested in, what you have a passion for, to make money in that. You'll be phenomenal at it. Why? Because of the passion, because you're concerned about it and you care. If you see most arguments, if you look at an argument between people, who usually wins? I'm not saying who's right or wrong, okay? I'm not saying that's based on something else. But who usually gets their way? The person who's most passionate, the person who cares the most. They usually get their way. Don't we see that a lot of times in life? Don't we see that a lot of times in life? When a person demands, a lot of times is what they get. Now, I'm saying most of the time because if a person demands in their life that they'll be able to fly, they will never be able to fly. But they'll come up with a machine like the Wright brothers where they will use the machine to fly. Why? Because they had a passion for that. They had a passion for that. Find your passion. Now, we were talking about 6 traits of great leaders. We weren't talking about, one of those is passion. And I'm going on a little rant right now. Okay. But that's because I want y'all to find y'all passion and jump 2 feet in it. Jump 2 feet in it. Because you're going to give that passion more time. You're going to give that passion more effort because it's something that you want to do. It's something that you want to do. So, all right, so I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I want to let y'all know, please go to www.re, okay, groundzero.com. It's a community that I have. Again, that's Real Estate Ground Zero. It's called Real Estate Ground Zero Group. But if you want to go to the website, it's www.regroundzero. And what I'm doing is I'm taking people who are in real estate or finance. They're at ground zero in real estate and financing, and we build it. So in this community, we'll be learning real estate. We'll be learning if you want to become a real estate advisor, a realtor. If you want to become, if you want to buy an investment property, or if you just want to buy a home, okay? In this community, I'm going to be teaching people how to do these things from the ground up, okay? All right, y'all. It's Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate boy, and I'm out till tomorrow. All right, y'all. Take care.